this score. So, Sleepy Hollow, Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci, Tim Burton. Well, that's quite a threesome there. So where do I begin? The score. Danny Elfman. It's amazing. Anything Danny Elfman touches is so good. But this is my favorite. It's so dark and gothic and deep. It just sends chills down your spine. The operatics in it and the violins playing. Compare that with the coach wagon, whatever it is, going across the woods at night. Tim Burton, he puts his style in the film, like a lot of other films, like Batman, is great. So, alright, the style is great. The coloring is great. There's very little color in it. Like, there's reds for the blood, there's some yellows, blues, but it's a very lighted tint and dark, so, which is great, especially for this type of movie, because it's all supposed to be foggy and Sleepy Hollow, so the fog, like the black and white represents the fog and the town and everything. That's really great and really well done. Now that said, the movie is really well made and directed and acted, but I'm gonna get through the positives first. Johnny Depp does a great job doing his quirky little character, Ichabod Crane, and I really believe that he's a really smart guy, and as like a detective type person, I guess, when he interviews the townspeople. And Christina Ricci, she's really good too. You know, she's Wednesday Addams in this, on the Addams Family, and the cast for a movie. She's really well cast. It's a little different for her in a way, because it's more of a serious role, I guess. But she does really well in it, and she fits right along with the Burton family. And the supporting cast is really well too. Like Miranda Richardson, she does good. She pulls her part at the end, which that's really the only part she gets, because she's a small part up until then. Michael Gambon, I think, that played Dumbledore in the previous Harry Potter films, not the first two, that was Richard Harris. But he passed, so Gambon took over. But anyway, he's really good in this film. There's so many good talents in this film that, like, you know, Tim Burton really knew who he was doing when he made this film. And he, you know, the CGI could have been really heavy because it was the early 2000s. Which actually I think it was 1998, but still, it was about almost in the 2000s. When CGI was still heavy in the later 90s. But the heads are, what's the word? The heads are made from sculpts. That's, I guess, what I was going for. But, like molds of the actors' faces, and you know, even the whole town, Sleepy Hollow, is actually a set, which you'd never guess. It looks so realistic. And there's very little use of CGI, which includes the Tree of the Dead, and the fire scene when it expands, and that guy's house, I forgot his name, but it's really well done. Like, it's not over the top, and it's very subtle, so it doesn't take out of the movie, even if it does look a little aged. But the story is really good. You know, the classic story from Disney that they made the cartoon, and then the books and all that, and then the different takes on the film through previous directors and stuff. But Tim Burton has his own flair and his own little take on it and his story, with Miranda Richardson wanting to basically get the money from the Van Tassel family. And another part of the CGI, they digitally remove Ray Park's head. If you're not familiar, Ray Park played Darth Maul and Toad in the X-Men franchise, and Darth Maul in the Star Wars prequels. He actually does the stunt work when he is the Headless Horseman later on in the film. Christopher Walken, which is also great too. He plays the Hessian Headless Horseman whenever he has his head. So, anyway, again, Ray Park does really well with his stunt work, with his little sword movements and axe fighting, I guess. But they digitally moved that, and that looks totally fine. Like the collar of the suit and the costume looks fine to me. And I watched this last night, so it's very fresh in my mind and my memory of what I'm talking about. This movie didn't scare me when it did scare me a little bit when I first saw it, but right after I saw it, I was like probably 12 or 11, so I was like, I just kind of talked myself into not being scared about it. I was like, he's headless, so logically he can't be moving or knowing where to stab you or how to get up or whatever, I was like, that's kind of silly when you think about it, but when given the right direction, it can be pretty cool, actually, because it is a fable, an old tale that is still in our heart and remastered into a film. But what got him on board was that his appeal to him was that the Ichabod Crane, which was a character that lived inside his head, versus a character with no head. And that was pretty much what drew him to it. And plus, him and Johnny Depp always wanted to do a horror movie, which Johnny Depp, obviously, his first film was Nightmare on Elm Street, so he's already been familiar with that era, or genre, I guess. But again, the acting is really well done. The set is great. The score is good. Another thing is the special effects at the end whenever the Headless Horseman gets his head back, his skull, his muscles and stuff contract and go back into his bones and attach to his body. That's actually still really good special effects, I thought. And still looks pretty realistic to me. It's just, there's a little bit of comedy in it, with the head spinning around when he cuts that guy's head off. And then Johnny Depp trying to get away from the fallen head that rolls down the hill, and then his mouth the head's open and it falls in between his legs. It's just really funny. But the film is really dark. Despite the little bit of comedy that's in there, there's this backstory, Ichabod Crane, where his mom was murdered for witchcraft, and there's all these different dark themes in it and characters that really set the tone and the film, I guess. And if you watch the special features, if you own the DVD, you watch them and you'll find out how much work went into this, and you'll get more respect for it too. which I've always loved the film. It's like one of my favorite Tim Burton's films, aside from Edward Scissorhands, which I'll probably review that soon too. But yeah, comment and let me know if you agree or disagree. Love it or hate it, I don't care. This is my review, so I hope you like it. But yeah, one other thing, the costumes are great too. I gotta give props for that, the costumes and the props. Gotta give props for the props. But yeah, that's it for tonight, so see you later. And it's October 1st, 2018, so have a good October, everyone. And a happy Halloween.